Alrighty, guys, this is Dark Souls 3, Episode 2. We've got some post commentary here. This is my first video with my new microphone. Sounds beautiful. So, first things first, we're going to get an item a lot of people don't realize you can get right in the beginning. Reason I was circling around there is because a lot of times there's a fog wall there, like while the area is loading. Just wait a few minutes and it'll disappear. But we'll be going there later after we get a key. This item, though, is really awesome if you get it right in the beginning, but it's also kind of a pain. I gotta jump from that tree to that ledge. Easier said than done. There we go. I was pretty happy with this. Took me enough tries. And some might say that this is kind of like a sketchy way to get up here, but I really don't think they would have put that there by mistake, that tree. I'm really confident that they did that on purpose. The people that make these games, you don't do something like that without knowing people are going to eventually figure out you can use that to jump up here. So we're going to go up here and we're going to get an important item that I forget to use like all the way up until halfway through the next episode.
You, me, pickle bee, me.
That dude we're going to talk to some more later. Estus shards, very important. I think by this point we've already got one, and I think we end up with like 3 before I remember to use them. So this will be your first fog wall that you run into in the game, if you happen to use this trick. And down here, we're going to head over to this chest, and one of my favorite items in the game, Covetous Silver Serpent Ring. So this one here is a silver ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was, a dragon. Fallen foes yield more souls. Snakes are known as creatures of great avarice, devouring prey even larger than themselves by swallowing them whole. If one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it's time for some old-fashioned greed. There's a lot of symbolism in Dark Souls about snakes being imperfect dragons, or creatures that tried to become dragons and failed, and stuff like that. And we'll see a lot more evidence for that later as well. So we're going to go back to the high wall, and we're going to unlock a shortcut. And that's probably going to be about where this episode ends. Now, over here we've got this basin with like a broken coiled sword in front of it. And this kind of looks like the one that is in the beginning of the game that I told you to kind of pay attention to. And it also has, like I said, the coiled sword, which we know there's importance to. And we're going to see a lot of this symbolism in the game. And we'll comment more on that like as we go along, but it's worth noting as we go along when we see it. High Wall of Lauric. Really nice beginning level, like design-wise, how it looks. And so down here we're gonna find our first bonfire of this area. And actually I lied earlier, I think I go until the second bonfire and that's where I stop in this episode. But we're gonna go down here, and a couple tough guys down here, at least for the beginning. And I almost always forget there's a sniper right above my head right now. But I'm gonna forget about that until he shoots me in the back. Right there. And this guy with the axe, he's a little bit to worry about, but as long as you pay attention to his moves, he's really not too bad. But he can dish out some formidable damage if you're not paying attention. Kinda like I was, as I'm halfway down on health. What I should have done is I should have taken that guy out first, and then moved down, but... One thing in Dark Souls, you never want to leave yourself low on HP if you don't have a reason to. Always use an Estus Flask. Always better off doing that. Titanite shards, we'll be using those later, once I end up with a weapon that I'm happy with. Now, anytime you run into one of these guys, if you kill them before they transform, they will not drop a special item. It's either a Titanite shard or a large Titanite shard. I can't remember which. But if you kill them before they transform, they won't drop it. And with this guy, I wanted to show that because later on I fight one and I just kill him quick to get him out of the way. I don't want to deal with it. Almost pushed my stool in. Okay, so yeah, Titanite shard and an ember. Both handy items. Especially the Titanite shard. Embers you're really only, for the most part, going to use for bosses and if you're playing with your friends and stuff, which I do highly recommend. Me and a buddy play Dark Souls all the time and it's endless amounts of fun. Now, this way down here is a path that leads to a shortcut, but we've got to come at it from the other side to unlock it. There's a good example of the forward R2 plunging attack. Yeah, you see, it doesn't open from this side, so we've got to go around and come back. And that'll be a nice shortcut for later. Really nice shortcut for later, actually. First time I played through, I didn't even know about it. Okay, so we're not going to be playing on that side for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and rest up, and we're going to go down the main path. These guys really won't attack you. You can pick them off if you want a couple extra souls. It really doesn't make too much difference. That guy you want to try and take out kind of quick, along with this dude. They like to scream, wake everybody up. it turns a couple of these guys hostile that normally wouldn't be. These guys here kind of take note of how it kind of looks like they're worshipping these trees. It'll be something that comes up later. And take out these guys that are kind of just chilling. Get the other screamer. They're lobbing fireballs. Now him, I wasn't expecting. I forgot about that guy. Of course, usually I don't come up here. And here we have the binoculars. Definitely pretty handy. I usually don't use them, which is kind of why I usually don't pop over to this side. One thing that's really cool about them is if you're a sorcerer, you can use them to kind of zoom in and sort of snipe with your spells. You can use those, the binoculars, and your spells will shoot directly in the center of the screen if it's like a regular projectile attack. So you can use them to kind of snipe. Usually that's not my thing, so more often than not I don't bother. Be wary of poisonous gas. That's cute. Now here I'm gonna run back to Firelink real quick. Since this is still early on, it's pretty easy to lose souls, and even a small amount of souls is pretty handy. I'm just gonna run back and level up real fast.
Welcome, speak. Very well. Then touch, take, nourish.
Never be afraid to go back and level up. You'll probably be real happy about it later. So there I'm going to raise my stamina a bit by pumping a level into an endurance.
Ah.
Kind of just looking at the weapons, because I know I'm going to want a different one here pretty soon. I'm just not sure what. Probably get the Claymore in the next episode or two.
Be careful.
I could hear the guy walking up. I was like, I know you're here somewhere. So now in this room we've got a guy to our left, and we've got a guy hiding behind those crates over there. So pick this guy off real quick. And then go show this guy who's boss. I was trying to get a backstab there, and I finally got it, but wasn't very elegant. And so over here you see there's this item, and you're like, okay, how do I get that? Back up here where the dead dragon is, we're gonna run up here. And I know they're not gonna follow me, so I'm just gonna kind of pop around. There's a little ledge here that, if you've never done it before, you really question if you can get on there or not. And we got gold pine resin there. So over here we've got the binoculars. Their utility is singular, but applications many. The value of these specs depend greatly on the imagination of the owner. And here we've got the pine resin. Rare pine resin which emits gold sparks. Chunks of it are even rare. Temporarily applied to right-hand weapon. Its origins are unknown, though some have speculated it might be a type of resin, fungal resin. And then over here we've got the Estus shard. Shard soaked in Estus. Give to a blacksmith at the shrine to increase usages of the Estus flask. In old days it was rare to see an Estus flask far from its owner, but this shard offers hope, however shattered. Bow doesn't really have any lore, really. And here I'm just going through the other stuff I've got, make sure that I didn't miss anything. Don't think I did. That's a fun spot to get the drop on people in PvP. There we've got Soul of a Deserted Corpse. And then we're gonna go say hi to this dude over here. So here you'll kind of see me keep looking up. And that's because I'm trying to keep an eye out for a friend. There he is. That's what we want to see. And it's funny because I spend like the next 2 minutes trying to get him to torch the enemies. But, of course he doesn't. That's what I want. And of course, now he wants to cooperate. Very fickle fella. Now, over here there's a dude, and I'm just going to run past him for simplicity. There's a, what do you call it, bonfire. There's a bonfire right around the corner. We're going to screw with this guy in a later episode. I just was kind of running late on time and wanted to get it finished off. So it's easy to run past him, head up here, hit the bonfire, you're good. The problem I had here was because there was nearby aggroed enemies. You know, it was like, no, you can't. But once the aggro wore off, it's all good. There we go. So, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys.